now social media is kind of big. Everybody's always on it. And we talked about, like, people are out there spitting out all kind of stuff. Has it changed your relationship with certain people when you look at, because you're the Nation of Islam, you're devout, and when they're throwing out anti-Islamic stuff, but you see them, you're cool with them, and then all of a sudden you see this stuff online. Do you have a different relationship? Yeah, the relationship and the respect, it just changes everything. You're just not as...
Yeah, Facebook exposes people. You know how people always say they have this thing where don't talk politics? Like, my thing is like, if we can't have a real conversation with ourselves, then our relationship that we have is just based on the surface. Like, if I can't really know the core of who you are, and I'll give you an example. I can tell you when I lost a certain amount of respect for Preston Clemens when we went to South Africa. This is me telling the truth, man. So I can really care less. We went to South Africa. This is when I started getting close to Christopher Rodriguez. So we were on a plane, and Preston says, "Yo, man," he was dead serious. He's like, "Yo, I heard that these kids would chop your hands off." And I was like, "Chop your hands off?" And he was like, "Yeah, man, you gotta watch these kids, they'll chop your hands off. I read about it." I said, "Do you believe everything you read about black people? Like, do you ever give us the benefit of the doubt? Like, no, you just believe everything that you read about black people?" Like, and he just had that look on his face, And so when we get there, the police are like, "Listen, you got to be careful. These kids, because there's a lot of homeless kids there. They like range from like 5 to like 13 homeless." And he's like, "You got to be careful. These kids are dangerous." And President's like, "You hear that?" And I'm like, "Man, I live in the Bronx. Like, I ain't worry about no little kids." So it's in the middle of the night. I'm hungry. There's a McDonald's across the street. I'm like, "I'm going to McDonald's." President's like, "Oh, I wouldn't do that if I was you." I'm like, "You think I'm going to stay in this room all day because of them kids? I'm going downstairs." So I leave. I go downstairs, and I'm walking, and all of a sudden behind me, Christopher Rodriguez is with me. Like, "I'm going with you." I'm with Preston. He upstairs. I'm like, "This dude, man." So we get downstairs, and I remember I had his watch on, and these kids surround us. There got to be like 20 of them, and I ain't exaggerating. And I'm like, "What's going on, man? How you doing? Well, how old are you?" They're like, "I'm 8. I'm like, "Why you not in school?" And they're telling me, "Oh, my parent beat me," or, "My mother passed away," whatever. And they just giving me all these reasons why they're not in school. Excuse me. So I was like, "Listen, I'm like," I looked at one of them, I'm like, "Why are you looking at my watch?" And he had that little smirk on his face. Like, "Come on, man." So he looked at me, I said, "Let me tell you something. You see this right here?" And I pointed my watch. I was like, "You even think something stupid." His eyes get big. So after that, I'm still talking to them, and I'm looking, I'm like, "You guys hungry?" There's like 20 of them. I'm like, "Let's go to this McDonald's and get some food." So I buy all of them some food. I think Christopher bought them some food too. And we sitting down, we eating, and we laughing, and we joking, we talking. So I get up and I leave, and one of them go, "Johnny." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I see you tomorrow." I'm like, "I see you tomorrow." We come upstairs. President just got this look on his face, man, like he was like terrified. And I just had a problem that, to me, like that was the first sign. There was other signs, like just certain things, conversations that we had. Like he just had this image of black people. I ain't now. Someone say you call Preston racist. I'm just saying he had certain issues. He didn't have any filter. Like whatever they said about us, it was believed. And I was like, "Dude, you can't believe everything that you see on TV based on what you see. Because if I went on history, I should be scared of you. And we ain't gonna hang you. Like, we can talk about history. I should be terrified of you. So don't do that." And Christopher just seemed like a more of an open-minded person. So a lot of times when I do see certain things on social media, I'm always removing friends. I'm always like, "You're an idiot, click. You got these little slick views that you don't necessarily say N-words, but you support a system." See, everybody thinks that you got to say the N-word to be a certain kind of way. But a lot of times, and I'll say this, a lot of times people will deal with us as black people in two situations. And I don't care if this gives people give me less seminar, because I'm in a position, it is what it is. They'll deal with you in sports, and they deal with you in entertainment. And as soon as they'll put race to the side for show me that next blitz, show me that next angle. or yo, let me hear the next rap song, or singing, you a great singer, or ball player, or they'll put all that to the side. But remember, they went to go cheer for Jackie Robinson too. And as soon as the game is over, go drink water in that fountain, you go to this fountain, don't get in the same car with me. And we don't say the word N-word or this, but there's certain, there's certain indicators that show you that they feel some kind of way. They may like Jotty, but the rest of us, and I got a problem with that. But I'm not scared to say it. And unfortunately, there are too many of us who's scared to say something in the name of, I don't want to lose a seminar, I don't want to be as famous, I may not be as popular. But there's a lot of times, a lot of names, Ray included, that I never heard him speak on nothing politically. I never heard him speak on a Trayvon or Freddie Gray or nothing. And I got a problem with that.
Yep.
Because you got a voice. It can't be just, we got to be greater than just this, man. Like, it got to be something about us that's just greater than the entertainment, and I'm on Glory and I'm on this. All right. I know that's part of your greatness. It's more, man. It got to be more, man. We just can't forget the rest of us. And a lot of times that happens. But I don't want to go there because I'll be here all night talking about it.
Your most memorable loss. The one that kind of, and it hurts just to think about it when it is brought up. It's just like, I can't.
KA for the Bluegrass Nationals.
What year was that? 97?
99.
99?
99. I don't want to talk bad about KA, right? I'll just talk about the fight. KA fell like about, Pedro counted it for me and called me. He was like, that was a tragedy. KA fell about 13 times on me, man, and never got a warning, man, purposely. And I lost by a point. And it was just, you always say don't make excuses?
Mm-hmm.
That was the one freaking match that I could just be like, it was straight terrible, man. The center referee had no control. I never even seen him judge before, who he was. And it was just bad. And I remember KA walking up to me, squeezing me with that strong grip, smacked me on my behind, and said, 10 years from now, they're not going to say how I won, but who won. That bothered me, man. I still feel some kind of way.
But when you think about it, it's definitely true.
I could agree, but I ain't gotta like it.
Yeah, you ain't gotta
he gonna be in the history books, but it just bothered me, man. It really.
So did you win the Bluegrass? You have won the Bluegrass.
I never won the watch. That was the
one
for the watch. I never won the watch.
So have you won everything else?
Yes.
But that.
Yeah.
And so that's one.
That's the one that bothered me. That's the one. And it was just, I should have won that match, man, clearly. It just bothered me. It just bothered me. It still bothers me. But, I was messing with him. I went to go visit him, and I was messing with him. And I told him what he told me. He kept laughing. The nasty answer on the side was going, that was genius. That was a genius. Plano was on the side, too. Because, that's his boy. But AP was my man. AP was like, nah, man, you should have fought him. You should have fought him better than that. I was like, yeah, man, he beat me. Damn, I'm bothered. Why you had to bring that up, man? But it is what it is.
Hey, all right, now, the more happy time.
Yeah.
The one that you remember that you like, I love this win.
I got a few of them, but I think beating Pedro for the diamond, because of this. I remember me and J. Ray training. Well, this is one of the reasons I love Jesse, man. I really love Jesse. We was training, and I was on a plane, and we was snapping, and we was joking. And I remember somebody asked me, yo, why are you so happy? I said, I'm going to win a diamond this week. Right? I swear to you, I'm going to win a diamond this week. I just felt, listen, but this is crazy. Frank Jones got to the diamond. He beat me in 97, and he lost to Pedro. Mm-hmm. He beat Payne, I believe he lost to Pedro. And I think that none of us at that time knew the significance of the diamond. It was our first time really there, like first and second. And watching Frank up there that close and almost winning, and none of us, like I said, knew what it really was, how that kind of helps you. And I was like, man, if I ever get an opportunity again. And the next year, I remember fighting, and Jesse, this is just a story. Remember when I said that sometimes Jesse slacked a little bit off his training, right? Jesse a hard worker, but there was moments, you know, he missed his weight class because he was heavier, and he was in my division. And I was mad at him. He knew I was mad at him. Because my thing with Jess, it always is like this with Jess. It's us against them.
Mm-hmm.
And we fighting, and it was me and him first and second. And I said to him, no, he said to me, yo, I'm gonna bow out. And I said, you can't. And he's like, nah, you gonna bow out. And I said, Jay Ray, if you bow out to me and I win, I'm always gonna wonder what would happen if Jesse never bowed out. And I said, I can't have that, Jay. If you beat me, right? Because we beat each other up in the gym, right? That's just what it was. And I was like, yo, you gotta give me that. We got to fight. It's not fair to you either. And we fought. And I was like, you know, I never, ever, I never feel good fighting Jesse. Never. I never saw, I can't even get like even if I say a prayer, it's like real short. God, let me be safe. Anybody else, I'm like, God, let me get busy, let my body be, you know. Jesse's like, let me be safe, right? It's just like real, because that's Jesse, like that's the dude who put me under the wing, right? And we fought, and then I remember fighting for Grant, and then fighting Dean Furstenberg, and I remember Pedro winning his match, and I remember if he won and I won, we was gonna fight each other. And I remember walking off the stage, and he looked at me. He gave me this look, and it's a look that I can't explain it, but it's one of those, you know, it's about to be on. And I got the same look, like, but with respect. It's still like, yeah, this is it. And we fought, and I won, and he said to me, I'm passing you the torch. And he said, and I'm mad that I lost. He said, but if I had to lose to anybody, I'm glad it's you. And
So at this point, you've had validation from AP and my uncle, Pedro.
Yeah.
Jesse, you mean you've gotten...
Yeah, I got the door. Like,
yeah.
And that for me was a big deal. And what's funny is two things. I was disappointed because when this is my diamond, I'm smiling, I'm taking a picture, and Larry Callahan like this to his teeth. In this envelope is the appraisal of the diamond ring, and it shows what it's worth if you want to sell the ring. Now, mind you, take only a little bit to get this, right? Why are you telling me that while I'm on stage? Like I don't need your money, and you might not admit it that way, but this is bad timing. Like you don't have somebody a Super Bowl trophy and be like, yo, you can sell this back to me. Like, I'm like, what? Let me have my money. You making a deal with me while we taking a picture. I had a serious problem with him over that. You know, I had a really, I still have a problem with like, why would you offer me that? Why would you do that? Why would you tell me this shit's $1,000? And I'm like, dude, don't do that. Mm. And the funny thing, I never wore the diamond. I just kept it in the box, but it was just, you know. And what's crazy is I called AP, and he started crying. He was like, "We did it." He kept saying "we." I used to remember. I was in AP school during this time. Mm-hmm. I was down there with you, training you, Avery. I was going to see. I mean, Avery wasn't even around. You, Willie, your brother, yeah. Right? And Ski Pops, who was on it. Jamal wasn't even around. And I was in Detroit in AP, and them guys, and he was like, "We did it." I hear him crying. We both crying. And then he's like, yo, we did it. You here with me, you here with Plowder, and you here with us. And Plowder's like, my man, I told you. And then Jesse, and the thing about Jesse, yo, Jesse hugged me so tight, like, yo, man, you my MF, I love. It was just that kind of, it was we. It was never you, it was like that we did that. And then what's funny is about 6 months, I wasn't on Paul Mitchell yet. I get on Paul Mitchell, I go to train with Pedro Xavier. Pedro we train. I go to Reggie Perry School to train in the morning. Mm-hmm. I drive over just to see Pedro. Like, I'm in Boston training. What's up? Pedro's like, oh man, if I knew you was gonna work out, I'd have been there. So I'm like, you wanna train again? So we train on the spot. Pedro did this kicking combination to this day. I've never seen nobody kick like this. Right? So, and I'm sitting there watching him kick it. I'm looking at Reggie, and Reggie's laying on the floor like he's bored. He's like, homeboy, get used to it. This is every day. Get used to it. So we go back to Pedro's house, and Pedro has the diamond flyer of that year over the bed. And I'm sitting there talking. I'm like, yeah, P. And I declare blue. We having a regular conversation. He stopped. He's like, You stole that from me. Yo, his voice changed. Y'all was so uncomfortable. I swear to this, everything. He was like, you stole that from me. You took, like, say this, you took that. I dreamed about this every day. You took that from me. But I'm glad, it had to be you. Yo, I was like, I ain't know what to say, man.
Hey, nah, but
I know what to say.
everybody has that one time.
Yeah. But yeah, that would definitely be, if I had to say, and it wasn't the diamond ring in itself, it was just what the whole thing for me at that time represented. 2 years ago, I was told this. You know what I'm saying? A year ago, I was given half of a handshake to 2 years later, I'm on stage, right? In my school uniform, I had no TDS, no nothing.
Winning diamond ring.
Winning diamond ring, my school uniform.
Nice.
So that was significant for me.
So if you had to choose one that would be more like you, would you be Vegeta or Goku?
Goku, man. Goku a good dude, man. Like, Vegeta's an evil villain. Like,
But
Goku a family guy too, man.
Okay.
He's good, take care of his kids. He's a good dude, man.
Mm-hmm.
Vegeta ain't no joke. I was both of them at one stage, depending on who you ask, right? So.
All right. So, have you ever thought about doing a tournament?
Yes.
You think you're ever gonna do it?
Man, my plate is full right now, but I think that it would be only right. I think that I have a certain kind of popularity or brand, and I know I would get a lot of support. I support a lot of people in a lot of things, and I think people genuinely, for the most part, they support me in what I do. So and I always get that question. So I think there's definitely something I would. I was supposed to do something with Jay Ray. We was talking about it, but I'm just glad he's doing what he's doing solo, man. I'm glad that brother's doing what he's doing. So he's leading the way in that, and I definitely want to follow suit sooner or later.
All right. So December, you have your TCK Winter Camp coming up. Who do you have coming in this year? Because every year you have somebody.
Yeah, I always got like a theme, but this year it's Morgan Plowden, Gina Thornton, Brian Plimble. I had to get him in there. Learn some stuff from him too. Myself, Ross Levine, and Avery Plowden. So we got some veterans. We have some females in there. We got some young active guys. And we have some guys that are really good that most people have forgotten about, which is like Plimble. But who's behind the scenes with, Cass Sigmund and the Team Unity, and a lot of other guys. Like I said, who's definitely a guy who knows his stuff. He definitely used to be one of the guys who used to give me a hard time.
Bad Boy Blitz.
And that used to give me a hard time fighting, man.
So when is it? And how can people get to it?
It's December 26th to the 28th. They can call me at 718-542-8622. Again, 718-542-8622. They can even email me at tckmma@gmail.com. So T as in Tom, C as in cat, K as in kryptonite, and M as in man, apple.com. That's me at gmail.com.
So with everything we've discussed,
Yes.
what do you want to be remembered once you're old man, you 85 years old, you sitting there, and you want your legacy to be about? As far as, somebody mentioned Johnny Tension, what do you want the first thing that pops into their head and remember you about?
Several factors. As a person, as a fighter, I think I'm smarter than everybody. I honestly believe that. I believe that. I don't want to say in an arrogant way. I think that I see the fight from a different perspective than most people see it. I've always been the kind of guy that will study you, watch you, pick your habits up, and have a strategy for that. And I'm pretty disciplined with that. So I would want to be celebrated for my intelligence. I think I innovated some things into this. And I think I'm giving. Like, I put up videos, man, for nothing for years that people that I always get from all over the world will be like, Johnny, man, you influenced me. I went to countries, Guatemala, I'm not taking all the credit because those guys are good when I got there, but I absolutely has my influences over there big time, and in Mexico and Guatemala, my influence of going to those places often. So I think that I've influenced the game. I helped change it. I think I was generous. I think I was highly intelligent. I think I was very professional about how I did it. And sincere, like, you always got to agree with everything. I got a big mouth, I'm clear about that. I'm very vocal, but I think that he was a real dude, he was sincere, he was classy, and he was professional, and he did it the right way. I maximized my position.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
You still have the fur coats and the heels, the
Heels.
the heel boots, the boot heels, the leather boots.
Man, I still got that chinchilla. Hey, listen, man, that was a classic coat.
Hey, man, you used to come through. Like, I'm like, what, man?
Hey, listen, listen. Them dudes over there that you can't see were all wearing one too, right? But yeah, man, I just.
Well, Anthony's picked up the.
Anthony Murray got his own.
Taking it to another.
Man, listen, we ain't gonna discuss that one right there, man. That's a whole nother. Yeah, that's a whole nother look right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like nice things. I deserve it.
Now, I did want to talk about one other thing. You are vocal about grandmasters and and that style. What brought that on? Like, did you go somewhere and somebody said, hey, no, you have to address me? Because we noticed it's a little thing that can set you off.
Yeah.
So what did this
Grandmaster thing?
Yeah.
All right, listen, like this is my thing. Like, everything evolves. Everything. Like, you get iPhone 1, you got iPhone 6 Plus, then you got iPhone 3D. We travel in vehicles now, planes, helicopters, jets, boats. We don't travel on horse and chariot anymore. And what happens to me is that I think that these guys stop evolving. Guys that are in a position of leadership, they stop evolving, and they get these titles and they want to justify their lack of evolution, and they give themselves like, I'm grandmaster, and they think because they're grandmasters they can never be students again. Now this is where this comes from, because I'm like, people think I'm just reckless, but I always have a reason. Whether you agree with it or not, I always have a reason. I love karate. I love it with all my heart. I'm gonna die doing it. I'm clear about that. And I don't want my son or my daughter to have the only option that they have is a cage in the next 10 years, right? The only option where they get to play is in somebody's cage. Mm-hmm. And not
like clarify that. When you say somebody's cage.
Meaning like MMA,
right?
Like I have no problem with that. Like, that's just a part of it. But people look at karate as a bad thing now for the most part, because it's done in such an old school manner for the most part, that the seriousness out of it, either we get too kiddie, or these guys don't want to evolve, so they got their students still sitting in horse stances, and this is no knock on kata. So people think I have this misunderstanding about kata. I hate when people say, if you want to become good at fighting, you got to do kata, which is nonsense, absolute nonsense. So, and they justify this, and they have these titles like, I'm the grandmaster, what I say is, this is the law. And I'm like, it's time to evolve to a certain thinking. If we don't evolve to a certain thinking, people don't want to do. It's not like most karate schools don't have a lot of adults. Right. I have a lot of adults in my schools, but a lot of karate schools don't have a lot of adults, and I think a lot of it comes from that thinking. Mm-hmm. That thinking of, I'm the grandmaster, get in line, everything I say is right. You can't talk to grown men like that. Mm-hmm. Like, get in line, everything I say is correct, and I'm going to teach you in this one kind of way, and I'm not going to evolve to the new way of thinking about how things should be done. There's always a new way to kick and punch. I'll give you an example. I had not a debate, but a discussion with one of my instructors, and he said to me, well, if it was good enough for your instructor, why is it good enough for you? Why isn't it good enough for you? And I said, just because I was born in Brooklyn don't mean I need to live there, right? You move on, you pay homage, but you move on to bigger and better things. So this is where this came about. One night, I'm sleeping. I wake up in the middle of the night. I thank God, Allah, for allowing me to wake up this one morning. I cut the TV on. I declared blues, and it was a chess game on. and the dude was a documentary about Bobby Fischer. And the guy was explaining how good Bobby Fischer was in chess. And then what he said was, he said Bobby Fischer was supposed to go against this Russian guy, I forgot the guy's name. He went away for 25 years or so. He came back and they finally had to play this game against each other that the world wanted to see. He said, but the audience for the most part was disappointed because what they was watching was 25-year-old chess. Now keep in mind, chess pieces, the directions of chess pieces don't change. So when he says 25-year-old chess, he means the method and the mindset of how they were setting up the rook or setting up the bishop or the pawn. Because if you don't evolve, you stay in the same spot where you at. And that's what happens with karate. Guys don't evolve and they stay in the same spot. And you know why they stay in the same spot? Because they use words like traditional. And in any language, any form of any institution of education, you never hear the word traditional because it's always getting better. So to say, well, we're practicing what so-and-so practiced 200 years ago. Then if you're going to practice that, you can't live in a modern life. You can't be on your iPhone or practice everything in the old school way because we all on iPhones, Facebooks, phones, computers, cars, but you practice old school. You practice those concepts, but you apply them in new methods. If you don't apply them in new methods, you're playing 100-year-old karate. And as long as we're playing 100-year-old karate and MMA is constantly evolving, I don't mean that to say that you got to grab somebody armbar them. What I'm saying is they're all MMA guys, and one beautiful thing, their mind is always trying to find another way to beat
because
the
it's
new thing.
Completely different than it was 20 years ago.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But karate guys hold on to what's 20 years ago and go, it's tradition. I'm grandmaster. I've been doing this 50 years. So my whole thing is, I don't want to hear that. Keep evolving. Keep growing. Don't tell me about 50 years ago. I understand, pay homage. But none of us are riding a horse and carriage to the dojo. Right? So that's why I came at the whole thing, because you have these guys, due to their lack of evolution, they hide behind two things. Rank, that's how they can stay in charge. I'm grandmaster. And kata, because the kata doesn't change. It's always the same exact movement, and they'll go, if you want rank, and you want to spar, or you want to be a black belt, practice these non-heons, or whatever the case may be. That is not evolving you to a better fighter. So I get in trouble for that mindset. Again, I'm not anti-kata. I'm just saying, don't tell me my chicken is steak. Don't tell me this is the blueprint to fighting, because it's not. You tell me one dude you fighting with that stay in the front stance, or give you a back. You tell me one dude that you sparring with that ever do this, and you'll be like, yeah, that's the way. Yeah. Or you tell me when you do this, or do this. You show me when you're doing that. Yeah, okay. So I have a problem with that because it shows to me a lack of innovation, and you hide the lack of your lack of involvement, and you use words like tradition to hide that you haven't changed. And the only learning institution where you don't change, or the only institution where nothing changes, is the graveyard. That's the only thing where everything is permanent and nothing changes. Even doctors have to go back for a recertification. If they don't go back for a recertification, or doctors or whatever, you can't continue working and living in that field because you're not updated. When was the last time Grandmaster was updated? When was the last time he learned a new takedown or takedown defense or armbar or how to get out of a mount or whatever the case may be? When was the last time Grandmaster learned that? And that's the problem. I feel is one of the problems.
What's the other problem?
Oh, well, the industry is the martial art industry in itself is a little bit ridiculous too. That's a whole nother, and I'm a part of the industry. Yeah, that's a whole nother, the gimmicks and stuff going on. And I'm not talking about McDojo because
I was gonna go there. I was gonna ask you, is a Grandmaster school more irritating to you or a McDojo school?
Well, this is the thing. The thing about I don't even know what a McDojo school is anymore because I don't have a problem with a great businessman. The problem that I have is that we speak of integrity, discipline, indomitable spirit, character, and I'm gonna be honest. You know those black
Mhm.
and you lying to them. You wouldn't even, most of these instructors wouldn't even train in their own schools. Most of these instructors wouldn't walk down the street with their own black belts and be honestly comfortable in the alley with them. Because you producing just a product and you're gonna hear. And I understand it. I'm in that industry. You know, I understand it. But I think it's getting a little ridiculous. I think it's getting a little, when a kid is taking a private lesson from me at 7 who told me he was going for a 2nd-degree black belt, I think it's getting a little bit ridiculous. Like, so it's innovation it's funny to me how we can tell a school owner, let me show you how to make $40,000, $50,000 a month, but I can't get a room of 10-year-olds to punch straight. That can't even properly chamber their roundhouse kicks. But I'll show you how to make $60,000, $70,000 a year. It has to be a balance.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a problem with them too, to some degree.
But not as much.
It's all of it is because when you produce a product like that, is a lot of the times when people don't take karate seriously anymore. Listen, I went to MMA school to work out, a few of them, just to spar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every single time they're like, yo man, what do you do? And I'll be like, but they ask me that in a good way, like, yo, what is it about your movement? It's different. And I say, I do karate. Nah.
Is it because you think they were exposed to McDojos or something like that? And
I think they're exposed to the whole, you got the dude sitting in the tight horse stance, and you got the other dude that can't even kick straight.
So they haven't seen
They haven't seen a quality program. Like,
Right.
you know, like I wouldn't say all of point fighters, but there's some dudes in points that I would absolutely take with me in the alley.
Yeah.
That I think could handle themselves in any situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, even now, before even injury, like watching Jesse Ray's footwork, man, and his rhythm with fakes and that offbeat and how he would close the gap and make. I remember one time watching a dude kick at Jesse, and he was in the corner, and how Jesse dropped to a knee and spun out the way. It was just, and it just, like that, MMA guys, I get calls all the time about doing seminars in MMA schools, asking me about being elusive. You know, how you guys do that. That was stuff that I saw coming up that was natural with Jesse. Like, that's just what I saw. I didn't see the funny, even in being in Masabu and being with Michael Dean and Kitsuga, that it was certain things that I just saw that was the norm. But they get overshadowed a lot of times by the industry who just tells you, yeah, girl, just teach the room and then whatever they look like, and the problem one of the problems with the industry is that they think that those who are making the most money are the most qualified to speak. You are the most qualified to speak on how to make money. You are not necessarily the most qualified to teach me how to teach. Because the product that you're making is trash for the most, not everybody. But yeah, you got 40,000 students. I mean, you got 40, you make 40,000 a month. But I wouldn't take none of your students. So you got to ask what's important to you. And I think that if you talk about integrity, if that's what we're talking about, those are the words that are on the wall. Ask yourself when you stop, you take a step back and look at your product. Are you really happy? If you're honest, you're not. If you're honest, or if you care about your paycheck only, then keep doing what you're doing. But I'm gonna get killed by this interview by like 9 different people. So
But you know what? No, you're not. Cause I got your back.
Thank you.
And thank you for being our inaugural guest on
no problem.
Behind the Competitor. This was fun. I had a lot of work to do, but you know what? It's gonna pay off. Hard work always pays off, and
Yes,
you
sir.
are a testament to that. Especially taking a year off and then coming back.
5 years.
No, the first time. You took the year off before.
Oh yeah.
Then came back and just got.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That's hard work putting in. Thanks, Johnny.
Man, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the support and everything. TCK Winter Camp, December 26th and 28th. We got guys already that's registered from Germany, Mexico, England, Guatemala, upstate New York, Detroit, Washington, D.C. Like guys come from all over to try to take the camp. If you're serious about getting better, if you're committed to getting better, you want to sacrifice some of this holiday time, this is the time, man, for we create a new normal, reinvent yourself, come down, learn from some of the best guys in the game, see their points of view, their perspectives, and again, I think the winter camp is absolutely the thing to do in December. It's the best thing going on in December. It's the best thing going on in December. Shout out to boys.